Blake, I told you, girl, the call is coming from inside the fucking house. Pick up. Ryan Reynolds is saying he doesn't need to be here. He didn't ask for this. He doesn't have shit to do with it. Than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Miss Lively has suffered. So y'all are broke. If y'all are broke, just say that. Just say you can't pay these lawyers. I know it ain't cheap. Paying lawyer fees for 3 months. You truly believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and.
Hey everyone, it seems like the situation with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni isn't going to end in anything other than chaos. Just when we think we've heard the last of it, more drama surfaces, and it gets even more chaotic than we imagined. Ryan Reynolds has been very vocal about how he supports his wife and is willing to stand by her no matter what, because he truly believes she is in the right. He has praised her for standing up for herself in the face of adversity, making him seem like the perfect husband. However, it looks like we might have been wrong about that. Word on the street is that a new video has surfaced, showing that Blake basically pressured Ryan into publicly supporting her because she believed it would benefit her public image, especially after Justin Baldoni exposed her.
Said that we should get those by the end of next week. And now, of course, from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, we heard a little bit about their plan, too. He talked about how they want this case moving forward as quickly as possible.
Ryan is one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, and everyone loves him. It seems like Blake was hoping to leverage some of that public affection to sway public opinion in her favor. However, it appears that the negativity surrounding the situation is becoming too much for Ryan to handle, as he has now filed a motion to remove himself from the lawsuit. And get this, he's not trying to get the case dismissed, he just wants to be removed from it entirely. It looks like he's tired of Blake forcing his hand. So, does this mean that Justin Baldoni was innocent all along? And has Ryan been covering up for Blake? Let's break this down.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out for the first time since all the drama to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. At the end of the day, this is all for PR.
In a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable.
Okay.
Is Ryan Reynolds...
mean.
Like he's
Canadian.
Look, you punch
It's
a couple
super
hundred
annoying.
orphans and suddenly you're mean. This is what I don't.
As I mentioned, Ryan has been firmly on Blake's side throughout this whole ordeal. So, you can imagine how shocked we were to find out that he wants out of the situation. Not only does he want out, but he wants out so badly that he filed a motion with the court to have himself removed from the case, claiming it has nothing to do with him and that Justin should have never named him in the first place. For some context, Ryan got involved in this case when he took shots at Justin in the movies Deadpool and Wolverine.
You know, as seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, he's used it, you know, on Deadpool to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
Well, word on the street is that not even her husband is safe from her bullying, as she allegedly forces him to do what she wants, like getting involved in her legal drama, because it makes her look better. For those who don't know, this isn't the first time Blake has been accused of being a bully. Word is that Blake was so awful to a former assistant during the filming of A Simple Favor that the assistant ended up quitting. Yikes, then, assistant director Barbara Seaman randomly decided to add her own behind-the-scenes tea to the mix. It all started when A Simple Favor star Henry Golding posted about the upcoming sequel, Another Simple Favor. That's when Barbara slid into the comments and casually dropped a bomb, saying she actually walked away from the first movie because of how Blake treated her. And let's be clear, this isn't just random online chatter. This is coming from someone who was actually on set. Barbara wrote, "I worked with you on the first one. My experience with everyone was absolutely amazing, except for a certain someone who is the reason I quit being an AD. Guess who that person is?" I wish you all the best with this though. She ended up deleting the post, but you'll know you can never fully delete anything from the internet. She got so much support from fans that she opened up more, saying, "Thanks for the kindness. I want to avoid attention around this, but I will say she was cruel to many. I know I cried my way home many nights because you try so hard to please someone who is never pleased and puts you down constantly. I can't believe it's actually getting back at her. Karma is real." Barbara isn't the only one who has accused Blake of being a bully. Multiple crew members over the years have also spoken up about similar experiences. One crew member who worked on Gossip Girl made the same claim, saying, "Unfortunately, my experience with Blake was not good. She came across as a bully. When fans wanted to take pictures with them, Leighton was always available, but Blake didn't have the time with the crew. It was more the way she was speaking to them, like she was a toddler. If she was not getting what she wanted, she would start making a scene, just being disrespectful and rude. I witnessed the way she was talking to other people on set, crew, other actors, and it just wasn't a good vibe. I'm not trying to bash Blake Lively. I'm just talking about my experience and the fact I saw her acting like a bully. This has nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. This happened in 2010, way before Justin Baldoni. There's a reason why so many people, from different places all over the world, have had the same experience with her. What does that say? All of us have had the same kind of experiences with her. Justin Baldoni's team also claimed to have receipts of Blake being a mean girl and a bully. They said, "We are releasing all of the evidence, which will show a pattern of bullying and threats to take over the movie." None of this will come as a surprise because, consistent with her past behavior, Blake Lively used other people to communicate those threats and bully her way to get whatever she wanted. We have all the receipts, and more.
Baldoni's lawsuit won't hold up in court. He says him referring to Baldoni as a predator is constitutionally protected opinion. Blake's husband also rips Baldoni's lawsuit as essentially a burned book and claims Justin is trying to shame him for sticking up for his wife. Ryan, I'm still waiting for you to show us one single text message between you and Blake within the time of production that shows her distress, her discomfort, her pain, her suffering, anything. You're telling me your wife was being SH'd at work and you guys did not talk about it in text, in email one time? And I don't want to hear he was on set. He was on set a few times. There were multiple days of production where he was filming Deadpool and she was on set with Justin. You knew this whole time. You've been paying lawyer fees for 3 months.
Justin claimed that the character Nice Pool, which was introduced at the end of Deadpool vs. Wolverine, was meant to mock him. He even dragged Marvel and Disney into the lawsuit, as well as Ryan. According to reports, Brian Fredman sent a legal letter to Marvel boss Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger, accusing Reynolds of taking direct aim at him during the scene where Reynolds plays a Deadpool variant, Nice Pool. In the scene, Reynolds says, "Where in God's name is the intimacy coordinator?" To top it off, he praises Lady Deadpool for snapping back after having a baby while remarking about feminism. Baldoni reportedly believes this was a deliberate swipe at him for portraying himself as a feminist during it ends with us promotions. Fredman's letter demands that Disney and Marvel keep all documents related to or reflecting a deliberate attempt to mock, harass, ridicule, intimidate, or bully Baldoni through the character of Nice Pool. It also hints at potential legal claims such as interference with contracts and civil extortion. In his court filing, Ryan didn't deny taking shots at Justin, but instead claimed that Baldoni's outrage over a movie character, the satirical, woke Nice Pool, doesn't even pretend to be tied to any actual legal claims. An insider also commented on this, saying Baldoni's legal team is now going to try to do a deep dive into Deadpool, the funding for the film, and the actors and producers who were aware of this alleged bullying during filming. They said that since Reynolds hasn't disputed the claim that Nice Pool was based on Baldoni, it has opened up the scope for Baldoni's lawyers to argue that their client was under a coordinated attack. By admitting that the Nice Pool character in Deadpool was based on Justin, Ryan not only dragged Hugh Jackman into the forefront, but also the directors, producers, and Disney. Now Ryan is trying to get all of this tossed out. According to reports from his recent legal request, Reynolds described himself as a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Lively has endured. An insider also said that Ryan claimed Baldoni was attempting to shame him for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and stand by her. And remember his claims about Justin allegedly being a predator. Well, Ryan's legal team is backing him up on that, saying it isn't defamation because Ryan genuinely believes Justin is a predator. A court document stated that the first amended complaint alleges no plausible facts that suggest Mr. Reynolds did not believe his comment to be true. Instead, the relevant allegations suggest that Mr. Reynolds genuinely, perhaps passionately, believes that Mr. Baldoni's behavior is reflective of a predator. The entire case seems to hinge on Mr. Reynolds allegedly calling Mr. Baldoni a predator. But here's the problem, that's not defamation unless they can show that Mr. Reynolds didn't believe that statement to be true. Essentially, they're arguing that since Ryan truly believes Justin is a predator, his statement isn't defamatory and Justin's lawsuit has no merit, meaning it should be thrown out. However, Justin's lawyer dismissed Ryan's motion, calling it BS. They said, Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career by any means possible. His fingerprints have been all over this smear campaign against Justin since day one. Now, Mr. Reynolds attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The claims against him are real, and they are serious. Meanwhile, fans are now calling BS on Ryan's motion to dismiss, and rumors are circulating that the only reason he got involved in the first place was that Blake pretty much bullied him into it. She believed things would be easier for her if she had her powerful husband backing her up and, speaking of Blake, you'll remember her text to Justin where she compared herself to Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. She said, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So, really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I promise.
Believe you don't have nothing to do with this. Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and ever. You're going down together. That should be a song. I just want to see the one text message. She texted you saying, Ryan, today's hard for me. Justin came in my trailer and he looked at me, what did I say, with his head full of hair. And yeah, and then I invited him on the jet with us and with me and the kids because I was so scared of him. Show me one text message and I'm Team Blake. But you don't got it. See you in 2026.
At first, Ryan tried to claim that the joke was scripted by SNL, but it looks like the producers of SNL had learned from Disney being dragged into the lawsuit. They immediately made it clear that they did not want any part of the legal drama and distanced themselves from the joke as soon as the SNL show ended. Longtime cue card handler Wally Forston, better known as Card Wally, made an appearance on the Australian radio show Fifi, Fev, and Nick to break down all the behind-the-scenes moments from the night. Of course, it didn't take long before one of the hosts hit him with the burning question on everyone's mind, was Ryan Reynolds' joke planned, or was it truly an off-the-cuff moment? Well, let's just say Wally didn't leave much room for speculation. His response made it very clear that this wasn't some spontaneous remark. In other words, Ryan's joke was locked in ahead of time, which means he knew exactly what he was doing. And let's be honest, that just makes it even worse.
Question?
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
By this point, fans weren't even surprised that Ryan would pull something like this. They were just blown away by how desperate he and Blake seemed to be for a PR reset. Like, was there anything they wouldn't do to win back public favor, even if it meant throwing someone else under the bus? Yikes. Naturally, Ryan's team wasn't about to let Worley's comments go unchecked. They jumped into damage control mode right away, ready to push back and set the narrative straight, saying the opening joke was pitched by SNL and never changed. The follow-up joke was rewritten in rehearsal. A rep for NBC also seemed to back Ryan up, saying, "This is not true," while a source close to SNL added that Worley is not part of the writing process or involved in any of those decisions. Justin's lawyer also had something to say, expressing shock that Ryan would joke about something he claimed was so traumatizing for his wife.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it. We wouldn't want to do anything too controversial unless they were in on it. So yeah, that was his line. That was his idea to do.
Ryan is going down hard for this, and it's not surprising that he would want to distance himself from the drama, especially since there are reports of him being fired by Disney as a result of this hot mess, which allegedly broke Disney's morality clause. Word on the street is that Ryan secured a very comfortable $30 million paycheck for his role in Deadpool vs. Wolverine. Now, sure, the movie went on to make over $1 billion at the box office, so it's not like they couldn't afford him, but still, insiders say his sky-high salary wasn't exactly sitting well with the higher-ups. Apparently, some of the producers were already side-eyeing how much he was pulling in. And this isn't the first time his payday has raised eyebrows. Let's rewind for a second. Ryan reportedly made around $20 million for the first Deadpool, and when the sequel came around, that number almost doubled. And keep in mind, that's just his upfront fee. Once you factor in his percentage of the profits, his earnings climb even higher, making him one of the highest paid actors in the industry. While that might sound great for Ryan, it allegedly had some executives at the network feeling a little salty. Now throw in the fact that he's smack in the middle of this messy controversy, allegedly breaking a morality clause in his contract, and yeah, you can see how this might be a problem. The last thing these studios want is an actor making that much money while bringing them the kind of PR nightmares they didn't sign up for. Let's just say things might not look too good for him behind the scenes. Reports of him getting confirmed started going around a couple of days ago when an insider tweeted, "Heard Ryan Reynolds got fired by Marvel for using Deadpool and Wolverine to mock and bully another director. Hope that's true." Finally, no more Green Lantern jokes that stopped being funny 10 years ago. To be fair, most people doubted that Ryan would actually get the boot, especially considering how wildly popular his character is. I mean, Deadpool is a massive moneymaker, and Ryan is basically the face of the franchise. But then again, this is Disney we're talking about, and if there's one thing they don't play around with, it's lawsuits. At the end of the day, Disney will drop anybody, no matter how big their name is, if they think that person is putting the company's image and their money at risk. They've done it before, and they'll do it again. So, if this drama keeps spiraling and turning into a bigger headache for the XX, well, let's just say nobody should feel too safe. With Justin getting fired and being on the bad side of the public, it's not all that surprising that Ryan decided to remove himself from this mess before it got even worse. It's not clear if it's the bad publicity that finally made him snap, or if it's him getting fired by Disney, but it looks like he is finally done with the drama and just wants to go back to being one of the most loved actors in Hollywood, even if it means his wife is still going to keep getting dragged as a result of this. Messed. Well, Justin has something to say about Ryan's motion for dismissal, and his lawyer said, "Laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda." As we said in response to Mr. Reynolds' cowardly measures, we will continue to hold Ms. Lively accountable for her actions of pure malice, which include falsely accusing my client of harassment and retaliation. Her fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as Discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof. Ryan and Blake are going to have to dance with the one that brought them here, and if they expect us to help educate them on how to do this properly, then they're going to the hardware store for milk.
Yeah, that seemed like that might be the latest move.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that, and so it surprised me.